What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to talk to you guys about the 10 things that I absolutely love about my Z06. I have put just over 16,000 miles on my car in 1 year of ownership, and I love this thing a lot. It is so much fun to drive, and I see myself owning this car for a long time. That being said, I'm making this video to highlight some of my favorite parts about the car and open up the comment section for discussion. If you guys are new to the channel, leave me a comment down below. I'd love to personally welcome you to my channel as well as the Corvette community. So first things first, I want to say that you can't evenly compare all C7 Z06s. You can't compare a 2015 1LZ to a 2019 3LZ. I purchased a 2017 2LZ because I thought that this was the best car as far as price to power ratio, as far as what all was added. So in 2017, you get the redesigned supercharger lid, and in 2016, you get the front cameras as long as you had a 2LZ or a 3LZ package. But I couldn't justify buying a 2018 or 2019 when in 2018, they added a few different paint colors, and they upgraded the Bose stereo, I think. And then in 2019, they upgraded the backup cameras. I could have those backwards, but I just couldn't justify paying that much more in the used car market for it, so I went with the 2017 2LZ, and I haven't regretted it at all. So that being said, let's dive into the top 10 things I love about my Z06. The first one is the raw, aggressive power. This LT4 motor is badass. It is quick off the line, aggressive shifts, and has a high top speed. It is so much fun, and it'll get you in trouble if you're not smart about it. Number two, let's talk about the Targa top. So the Targa top is amazing, and I think GM did a really good job at designing this. You can take this off in less than 30 seconds and store it in the back of your car, and it gives you the looks and the rigidity of the coupe, but also gives you the fun and excitement of open air driving like a convertible. I'm extremely happy that GM decided to keep this with the C8. I think it's a great staple, and I think a lot of people love this. Number three are the front cameras. I love the front cameras, and I use them every single day. Whether you're pulling into a parking space that's got a diamond island, or whether you're pulling into a parallel parking space, these are going to save you a lot of time and money with helping you park quicker and helping you not damage your front splitter. They became available on the 2016s as long as you had a 2LZ or 3LZ package, and I wanted to make sure that I had these front cameras in order to save me a lot of money and time. The fourth thing I want to talk about with the Z06 is the great visibility in this car. The first time I got in this car, I was blown away at how easy and comfortable it was to drive this car. It's got a big windshield. The hood is angled downwards, so it feels like you can actually see the front of the car. And the mirrors and these little B-pillar windows right here do a good job at minimizing your blind spot, as well as a big mirror, so when you look out the back, you also, whether you have a wicker bill or not, even the clear piece, you can see well out the back. You can see the cars behind you. The fifth thing I want to talk about with the Z06 is the mild to wild drive modes. I love the fact that with the rotation of this dial down here, you can go from a grand touring car to a race car. My favorite mode is sport mode because it's the perfect middle ground between both. The steering is tight, but also the magnetic ride control, and it's just a very nice, comfortable car to drive in. Touring is great for when you're running down the highway or just cruising through town when you have a lot of bumpy roads, because the magnetic ride control, it turns and moves like a Cadillac. Eco mode is nice, but I haven't exactly seen the cylinder deactivation activate unless you're going downhill or on an excessive let-off. Weather mode for me, weather mode is non-negotiable when it's raining. It certainly was non-negotiable when I had the cup tires, but since then I've switched to the Pilot Sport AS3s, and you know, I'm not slipping and sliding in rain. But track mode is nice. It's fun. It feels, you have all that dopamine and then all that rush that comes to it. But honestly, when you're driving down the road in your city or something like that, all the bumps, you can feel all the jolts in the road. It's really not all that comfortable, and I think a lot of people thinking that they have to have their Corvette Z06 in track mode all the time is also why they're complaining about their fourth cracked rim. Knock on wood, I've had this car and driven over 16,000 miles on it, and after talking to Discount Tire, I've probably had a slight bend in one of the front wheels. Other than that, I haven't had a problem. Like I said, knock on glass. But I think too many people are rocking their car in track mode when they're not on the track, and they're facing the repercussions from that. But sport mode is my favorite, and touring mode is in second. But I love the fact that with a flip of the dial right here, you can go from a touring car to a race car. The sixth thing I love about my Z06 are the brakes. The 6-piston Brembo brakes does an excellent job at bringing this car to a stop, or at least slowing it down. Many of you guys out there that have gone to Mexico understand what I'm talking about. If you guys can spring for the carbon ceramic brakes, I would highly advise that, or you're going to deal with the brake dust problem, because these iron rotors create a lot of brake dust, and your problem can be solved with, what, $1,600 for a ceramic rotor for each one. So if you got the money, go on ahead and go for the ceramic rotors. It's probably going to also lead to a higher resale value in the long run, but either way, the ceramic rotors or the iron rotors does an incredible job at bringing this car to a stop, and I think that's really helpful. The seventh thing I love about my Z06 is the fuel efficiency. This car is 650 horsepower, 650 foot-pounds of torque, and I have a wicker bill, and I can still average 27 to 28 to 29 miles per gallon on the highway. Kudos to GM. I know this has a lot to do with the design. It's very low and aerodynamic, so the wind goes right over it, but also the 8-speed transmission does a good job at keeping the RPMs low, which also leads to more fuel efficient. So I think GM did a great job, and I'm very happy that you can have a race car and it be so fuel efficient. The eighth thing I want to talk about with the Z06 is the overall design. I think this car is incredibly sexy. Whether you have a 2014 Stingray or you have a 2019 ZR1, I think this car looks great, and I think it will continue to look great as the years pass on. You know, this is the last front-engine Corvette as we know it, and I'm glad that Chevrolet knocked it out of the park. I think this car is so awesome. I think it's a 5 out of 5. The design is incredible. I think the looks on the outside are great, but also the usability, comfortability, and functionality of the car are incredible. The driver-focused dash and display right here is awesome. If anybody ever complains about it, put them in the driver's seat and see if they're complaining, because they can't touch a button over here. The legroom is great. I'm 6'3", 225 pounds of solid muscle. Just kidding, I've got some fat on me. But this car is great. I fit in it. My head's not up here scraping on the Targa top, and my eyes are looking out the middle of the windshield, not up here. Also, this car's got a lot of trunk space, and it's great when you're going on a road trip or road rally or something like that. So this car is all around great. The design is great. Usability, functionality, everything's awesome, and I think GM did a really good job on this. The ninth thing to me about the Z06 is the options. I love the fact that GM gives everybody the opportunity to keep it cheap, so to speak, or to go all out. And this is with the 1LZ, 2LZ, and 3LZ packages. I really enjoy this because it allowed me, someone who was 24 years old, who saved up money to buy his dream car, as opposed to you know, somebody who's retired or somebody who's older who said, you know what, I want to go all out with this car. I want the ceramic brakes. I want the Alcantara up here. I want the diamond stitched Targa top. I want the suede with carbon fiber steering wheel. I want all the carbon fiber effects packages you can possibly get. I want the carbon fiber dash. I want the colored paddles. The fact that GM gives you the opportunity to, you know, keep it cheap with a 1LZ, not worry about heated or ventilated seats, because the thing that you want to worry about is swapping out your supercharger for a Whipple charger or anything like that. You know, I love the fact that GM gives us the opportunity, because there's too many people complaining about, oh, the Z06 doesn't have this or the Z06 doesn't have that. Well, honestly, GM could create a Z06 that everybody would want, but it's probably going to be $150,000, and at that point you're probably looking at a different car. So I really appreciate that GM gives you the options for, you know, rare paint colors, rare leather interior colors, and you can kind of customize the car however you want and make it your dream car. And I really appreciate GM for doing that for us. The 10th and final thing I want to talk about are the small things that GM gave us with the Z06 and or the newer car models. Number one is adding Apple CarPlay in 2016, as long as you had a 2LZ package. This pretty much makes the $2,500 navigation option useless. But that being said, with Apple CarPlay, you have very nice maps that, whether you're using Google Maps, Apple Maps, or Waze, you're always going to stay up to date, and your infotainment system is always going to look new and stay updated as new apps come out and new things are developed. The second thing is the hidden compartment behind the screen, and also the hidden compartment in the trunk. I think these things are super nice because it can keep things organized and hidden when needed. The third thing is the digital RPM indicator light that lets you know when the motor is warmed up. That way you're not out there damaging your car early on, clicking paddles when you shouldn't be. The fourth thing is the fact that you can adjust the sound of your exhaust and the tightness of your steering wheel just from the touch of a button on your dash. From the screen. I think that's super incredible, especially someone who came from a 2010 Dodge Charger with, you know, no buttons or anything like that. So I think that's super awesome. The fifth thing is to be able to set whatever digital gauge you want, regardless of what mode you're in. So my favorite is to be in sport mode, but I want the I want the performance settings of track mode showing. But I also want my heads-up display to be in touring mode, which also shows my speed and the speed limit. And I think that's super cool that you can set that up. I didn't exactly know about that once I first got the car, but now that I know that you can set it to whatever mode you want, I think that's awesome, and I love that a lot. The sixth thing is the electronic parking brake. I really hate it when I'm driving with somebody and they're on a hill and they throw it into park and the car rocks back, or they're downhill and they lean forward. So the fact that this little button right here, you're not having to hike up you know, a stick that's got, you know, gross sweat or, you know, damaged leather on it. The fact that this button's right here, you can be in drive, you know, you're parked on a hill, pull it up, then put your car in park, keep your clutch nice and keep your transmission nice. And it's super easy. It takes 1 second and it can save the life and maybe thousands of dollars on your car. I think that's super nice. The seventh small detail is the auto dimming mirrors. When you've got that big F-250 behind you with the light and you're sitting there and you're blinded by this eye and you're blinded right here, it's so nice that you can have the dimming and not go blind. I don't know if my car is different than everybody else's, but I don't have a dimming part on my passenger mirror, but I'm okay with that because my safety is more important than you know, it's more important that I see that car over there than it is that my eye's not hurting for a quarter of a second. So kudos to GM for the small details. I love this car so much, and I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching this video. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about the 5 things that I dislike about my Z06. Like you guys have seen here, I probably listed off 27 different things that I love about this car, but next video will be about the 5 things that I dislike about this car. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching. If you're new here, leave a comment. I'd love to personally welcome you to the channel, and I'd also love to see you guys next time. So subscribe. Catch you later. You guys have a great weekend or a great week. Thank you guys for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time.